So, welcome to After Dragon Ball Super, where we discuss the unresolved plot threads of Dragon Ball Super and where the series may go in the future, whether it be with the Dragon Ball Super movie or with the series returning sometime in 2019. I think probably the most interesting unresolved plot point at the end of episode 131 of Super is the fact that Frieza is indeed alive. That was the thing that left me scratching my chin because I'm wondering, okay, it's cool that Frieza got brought back. You know, he has his army again, apparently. He's going to start rebuilding his army. But where are they going to go with the character of Frieza? Is Frieza redeemable? Should Frieza come back and become like an anti-hero? Will he become the villain again? We're going to discuss all of that here on this video. And I definitely want to get your thoughts down below in the comments about where you think Frieza will go as a character in the future of Dragon Ball, and also where you want him to go. So I want two kind of comments, you know, where you what you think and what you want to have happen, like what you predict and what you want to have happen. Joining me on this edition of After Dragon Ball Super, please welcome back to the channel, the Frozen Particle. And what a better person to have on, because Frieza, Frozen, I get it.
Hello guys, welcome back to yet another video. Happy to be here, man.
Tournament of Power, he fights alongside Goku. It was an epic moment. Then Whis brings him back to life. And now we're stuck with Frieza in Universe 7 and his army. Goku said if he ever tries something, you know, we'll stop him. But it's still very dangerous and somewhat irresponsible to have Frieza out there. Now, obviously, you've got Beerus and Whis around, so they can always, you know, regulate. And hopefully the Tournament of Power has taught them to take care of the universe a bit better. So maybe now it won't be so bad, but what could happen with Frieza? We know that he's most likely going to be involved, I would say definitely involved in the Dragon Ball Super movie, and we're going to get more backstory into his character and kind of the history of the Saiyans, but where does he go from here? Is he just going to get beat again by Goku and wind up back in hell? I'm really curious about what they're going to do with this guy. What do you think they're going to do?
Well, I honestly don't think Toei and the writers have any choice but to make Frieza an anti-hero, and because there's so many safety nets like with Beerus and Whis, and you know, even if Frieza beats Goku, you know, as we've seen in episode 131, Whis can just revive Goku again and things will be all G, like things will be all good. So there's so many safety nets involved with, you know, having Frieza about, so Frieza doesn't really pose a threat. So I believe the best way to have Frieza in the movie and to sort of respect his character is to have, you know, him as an anti-hero. I think that would be quite a good idea. And at the end of the Dragon Ball Super movie, I actually don't know what they're going to do with him. I think it would be kind of disrespectful if he just died. But yeah, I think that's the graceful way out for Frieza if he just, you know, somebody just killed him at the end of the movie, or maybe the new villain can kill Frieza, and that's sort of the measuring stick of, you know, this new villain's power. So it's either Frieza's going to join Goku and Vegeta to face this new villain and sort of be that anti-hero, not really wanting to help out Goku and Vegeta, but kind of getting forced to. And also, if this new villain actually has ties to Frieza, that would be more motivation for Frieza to fight the bad guy. So he's going to play sort of an anti-hero role. That's what I think.
So you think that it's possible that Frieza is going to be used sort of as a jobber to the stars, so to speak, in the movie, dying against the villain, but in a weird way, sort of halfway redeeming himself? Do you think that King Yema and Madaio is going to grant him permission to go to heaven now? Because I feel like maybe they'll do something like that, but can Frieza really be redeemed? I mean, I don't know. Like, in one aspect, I think if it's executed properly, I think it'll be pretty cool to have him, you know, he dies, but he goes into heaven and, you know, whatever, you know, gets to live there or something. But on the other hand, he should be the irredeemable villain. I don't know. Like, I'm conflicted on this. That's why we're having this topic. Because them leaving Frieza out there was I think it was a very bold move. I think it was very bold. I think it was very unexpected. And I think it really makes me really wonder, like, obviously he'll be in the movie, but they know Frieza's a marketable character. You know, I would assume they bring him back if Super returns to television. I'd assume that, but I don't know, man. Very, very strange move, I would say, on the part of Toriyama and Toei or whoever called it. Because the dude, he's always up to mischief, and he can't like come to Earth, or he can't go to Namek to wish for immortality because he doesn't speak the language. So he'll have that problem. But also he could also go to Earth and wish for immortality. I mean, he might not be able to get resurrected, but he can still wish for immortality with the Earth Balls, and that's going to end up causing a problem. Plus, he now knows that the Super Dragon Balls exist, so what's stopping him from becoming another Zamasu problem? I guess Beerus have to step in at that point, right?
Yeah, again, as I said, there's so many safety nets regarding Frieza that there's almost no point in having him sort of act out his revenge by trying to kill Goku or Vegeta, because there's just Beerus and Whis in the way of that. So it kind of prevents Frieza from doing all that stuff. So we kind of force Frieza into that anti-hero role because there's so many safety nets. So I think it would be quite cool if a new villain of the movie, let's say, kills Frieza. I think that would be cool. That would also sort of show and showcase the villain's new power, because Frieza's quite a powerful character in the Dragon Ball universe now, that him killing Frieza would be quite the alpha move. And yeah,
it would be a statement, like you said earlier. Now let's talk about Frost. Okay, moving on from that, let's talk about Frost, because we saw at the end of 131, some people missed it, including me the first time, because they didn't really make a big deal of it, but he was there. Frost was brought back with 17's wish. We know this. What is the likelihood that Frost will eventually declare war on Frieza and invade Universe 7? Now, obviously, we don't believe that Frost has a way to access Universe 7, at least not currently. Maybe he can figure it out, but I feel like, motivationally speaking, I feel like Frost would be motivated to take out Frieza because he was betrayed, he was snaked. And what is the likelihood of a future storyline of Frost maybe they could do something very unique where you have like the army of Frost going after the Frieza Empire, and you have like this big space battle. Not to mention, we didn't even talk about the Galactic Patrol, because it's implied that the Galactic Patrol has been dealing with Frieza for years. Does this mean that now Jocko has to get back on the on the workhorse here and try to quell Frieza's empire, or are they just gonna let Frieza's empire stay in one corner of the universe or the galaxy in this case? I don't think he's universal, and just leave it there. Like I don't know. Like, I know I asked you a lot of questions there, but what are your thoughts on Frost and the Galactic Patrol, and like where you think that could go?
I don't think Frost and Frieza, like Frost versus Frieza, that showdown could happen. Because I don't know, I just don't see Toriyama going that route. I think that the future of Dragon Ball Super relies more so on Universe 7 and the personal story between the Saiyans and Frieza. But I think it would be really cool to see Frost try to act out his revenge on Frieza and just get totally bodied. I think that would be kind of comical to see. Especially since Frost has had a history with, just getting wrecked by, Vegeta and then Frieza in the Tournament of Power. So he
gets humiliated a lot.
Yeah, so...
Right.
I would kind of like to see that, but also it would be a bit redundant, wouldn't you say? Frost getting humiliated, again, and, it's a double-edged sword, really.
But bringing Frieza back so often is also redundant. Like it's almost like that's his joke, I guess. Maybe, I don't know.
That's true. Yeah. Do you think that Frieza getting revived too many times almost spoils the Dragon Ball Super narrative as a whole, or do you think it's quite cool that we see such an iconic villain, returning so frequently?
I mean, I like the whole idea of like him being like the Joker of Dragon Ball. I know some folks don't like it. I think it worked for Resurrection F as a movie. I don't think it worked in the arc for various different reasons, because they didn't really expound upon the character. That being said, though, I don't want him to get his own arc. I know a lot of people have been saying that, they're gonna do a third Frieza saga, now. I don't think we're going to get that. I think he might be involved in other arcs if he sticks around. If he doesn't die, right? He might be involved, but I just don't think they're gonna do another Frieza saga. I just don't see that.
No, neither do I, and I think that Frieza's role now in the Dragon Ball franchise is to be a supporting role for Goku and Vegeta and not necessarily the main villain, because that era's already passed. You know, that era of Dragon Ball has already passed as Frieza as this huge monstrous villain that the Z Fighters had to defeat, but I think that time has passed, so now I think Frieza will just be a supporting role, and, you know, who knows, maybe he'll die, maybe he will be, you know, maybe he will beat the new villain, who really knows, maybe he'll train so long that he'll...
Or maybe he'll help. I mean, they could
Yeah.
totally do a thing where it's Goku, Vegeta, and Frieza together fighting this new villain, like the trio from Resurrection F, you know, having to come together. They had a conflict in the last movie. That would be a cool thing too, but I do hope that they do something different with Frieza. You know, maybe Frieza just kind of, maybe they could do some development where he says, you know what, I'm not going to kill people as much as I used to anymore. I'm already rich because he's got his empire, you know, and they could even do a storyline. Again, this is just me fanficking and headcanoning. They could even do a storyline where we actually see Frieza's home planet and we see him go back there and or whatever, because we don't even know what it is. And maybe he doesn't become a good guy. Maybe he just realized, okay, I'm already wealthy. I'm the emperor. Let me just chill and just drink wine all day and, you know, just live like a rich guy. I mean, I don't see why they couldn't do that. I don't think he has that much animosity against Goku anymore. I think that's kind of quelled a little bit here.
Really?
You know, I don't think he hates Goku. I do not think after what happened in Tournament of Power that he hates Goku as much as he did before. I just don't think that's what happened.
He doesn't have that sort of drive. Well, at least it doesn't appear to have that drive to destroy Goku and whatever he stands for. He's more open to working with Goku, which... on one hand, people can say, oh, this is totally a betrayal of Frieza's character. I find it as a progression of Frieza's character and sort of just a twist. I don't think it's totally ruining Frieza's character. You know, Frieza certainly doesn't like Goku. I think he absolutely hates Goku, in fact. But he, you know, the drive to kill Goku is lessened during these past few story arcs. Yeah.
Yeah, I agree. Everybody leave your comments down below and let us know, you know, what you think they should do with Frieza, like I said, and what you want them to do. And don't forget to check out The Frozen Particle. I will leave links to his channel down below, of course, in the description. But I mean, like, in the comment section. Any final thoughts on Frieza?
I hope that in the movie, or just the future of the Dragon Ball property, I hope that Frieza doesn't get reduced to a comical or even a good guy role. Hopefully he remains sort of on the edge of that line, and I think that's the future of Frieza's character, is not being totally evil where he just wants to destroy Goku on sight, but not totally good like he's helping out you know, the Z Fighters on a regular basis, just somewhere in the middle.
Right. We'll talk to y'all later.